Hi everybody, so today we're going to learn how to change the oil in my 2008 Bullitt Mustang. Now for this car, clearance is obviously not going to allow me to slide under normally. So to fix that problem, we found the ramps. These can be purchased at Advanced Auto Parts for about 40 bucks. They hold up to about 8,000 pounds. You just drive the car right up. Just make sure you don't drive up off the end, because then, well, you're in a world of hurt. So the first thing I did, obviously pull up the ramps. And then you're going to take off the oil cap here. This is so that the oil can flow through through easily. And you want to make sure your engine's warm but not hot. So don't do this after you go on a road trip or after you've been racing. You know, just let it cool for a few hours, and then once starting it up and going on the ramps, it'll be cool. We're just warm enough to where it'll be viscous, and you'll be able to let the oil flow a little bit more freely, especially if it's just a little bit cold out. So the oil that we're going to be using today is the Royal Purple 5W20. You can find usually the type of oil on a Mustang right on the gas cap. See SE 5W20, and this stuff is actually synthetic, and it's made to last for about 7,500 to 10,000 miles. Very useful. It's a little bit more expensive, but considering how much time you have, it actually does pay off, and it's great for your engine. Every time you get your oil change, you should always have an oil filter to go on. The one I'm going to be using is the K&N Performance Gold oil filter. This is made for high-end cars, or maybe cars that are going to do a little bit more than the regular commuter driver. And we'll show you how to put that on in a little bit. Another piece you're going to need is an oil pan. Now this one opens up, and you just let the oil drain in here. It closes up just as easily, and then once you're done, you take it to any gas station, any auto body shop, and they'll dispose of the oil for you, and you take this back home. Use it next time. One of the last little bits of equipment you might need is a funnel. This is obviously going to be a little bit useful when you're trying to pour oil from a jug into a tiny hole like this. It's also useful to maybe have a pair of protective goggles and gloves, especially when using the purple formulas. So first, you're going to want to put the oil pan underneath the actual oil draining pan underneath the actual oil pan underneath the car. You can see right there, there's a tiny little bolt. The first and pretty obvious step is to get underneath the car. A little bit scary. Remember, this is hot. This is the exhaust system. Do not touch this. It will burn you. This is a pretty large size bolt, and since the oil is going to be flowing outward, you're going to want to move this a little bit farther away. Now, since this is a torque wrench, if I can put it on there. There we go. Turn that to the left. Make sure it's on so it actually opens and not tightens it. There we go. A little bit tougher than it looks underneath here. God damn, that's tight. Alright, plan B. So for this rather stubborn bolt, I'm just going to use a 5/8 wrench on it. It should fit like a, yep, fits like a glove. Alright, now to get some actual torque in there. Open this bastard up. Remember, this is very hot oil, so you actually have to be careful. Oh my God, that hurt. There we go. If I can get it. This will actually just fly right out. That's why you want this here. It'll catch it, so we don't have to go digging around some nasty oil. oil's starting to flow out. I'm gonna catch that. Almost out. Remember, it's hot, so I'm going to pull my hand away once it starts to give more. Right there. Luckily, it wasn't burning hot, but as you can see, should be wearing gloves for this. Drove my car a few hours ago, so I kind of figured it would be alright. Now remember, for this part, your oil cap's actually off on your engine, so that's how it's able to flow out so freely. See how this black oil? It's not what you want. When oil actually goes in, it's not black. It's actually amber. And amber is actually the proper color. This car was not taken care of by its previous owner. This is the part you will want eye goggles or some type of eye protection, because you will be going underneath the car facing upward. So now that I'm underneath the car, actually right underneath the engine right now, the oil filter is actually located right in the front part of the engine, right here. Now the best thing about an oil filter is you actually don't need that many tools. In fact, the only thing you need is the drainage pan and your hand. These are usually hand tightened. They can be tightened by a larger wrench, but you really want them not to be that tight. So now what I'm going to do is very carefully, I'm going to loosen this. That's what happens when oil filter wasn't changed for 16,000 miles. Ugh. God damn, that's tight. So I've come to the conclusion that this thing is not coming off with any ease at all. So, in case you have a stock oil filter, use household oil. Put it on the seal. And to help with some grip, put duct tape around the little bit of the oil filter. Give you a little bit extra tug. See if it works. So after struggling with the oil filter, using both hands and probably every technique I could think of, we have come to the screwdriver method. This is not recommended because oil gets everywhere. It's a pain in the ass to clean up. I will most likely be covered in oil by the end of this. But it works. What you do is you take this end and you put it through the oil filter. Then you use the leverage and you turn it. Only problem is some of the inner parts could actually still be attached to the car, but luckily we have wrenches that can actually fit those. Alright, so I'm going to go wash my hands, so actually grip this, and I'll be right back out. As you can now see, after using the screwdriver method, the oil filter is coming out, finally, after so much crap. So much hardship. And remember, since you did the screwdriver method, the oil filter is very sharp on the outsides, so use a paper towel or gloves to unscrew it. So now that the oil filter's out, you're going to take your brand new beautiful K&M oil filter, which I have right here. And the first thing you're going to do is actually take oil from the old oil filter, and you're going to line this part right here. This is important to make a good seal. Now, you have to make sure you get some oil, so you actually might want to dip your finger in the drain right here, and just run it right around there. Okay. Now you want hand tightness on this oil filter for obvious reasons, and so you don't strip the screws. This is one of the last parts of changing your oil. We're now winding down to the last step.